Hi, this is Belinda. Welcome to my channel. Today let's talk about selfie. I know it's kind of ironic. If you follow my channel for a while, you would notice my subject is typically either landscape or my children during travels, outdoors, candid. I seldom take pictures of myself. I have to admit that I behave much more natural behind the camera than in front of the cameras. So if you are like me and are a little bit shy in front of cameras, I have some little tips and tricks today to share with you that can help you take some natural shots for yourself. So stay tuned. All right, before any tips, here are some basics. You want to use a tripod and a remote shutter. Ideally, something like this called Intervalometer. These are my two sets I bought almost 10 years ago. Each set comes with two parts. The left part connects with your camera. The right part is in your hand. You actually will see the remote in my hand in some of the sample pictures I'm going to show you very soon. I typically will program the intervalometer to take 20 to 30 images with 1 or 2 seconds interval. Although some of the latest mirrorless cameras like the one I'm using right now, Canon EOS R5, R6, and the camera I've been using the last 2 years, Sony A7iii, do come with built-in intervalometer features, so you can program everything I said directly in the camera without using external devices. Now, number one tip, walk toward the camera. It's literally that simple. Just be yourself, walk as usual, or you can even hide your remote in your pocket if you have one, and just be natural. This is the foolproof strategy to get candid shots for yourself. Obviously, if you wanted to add a little bit more challenge, you can even run toward the camera like this. If you are someone like me with long hair and happen to have some flowy dress, now here's my number two. Instead of walking or running toward the camera, you can just stay where you are, but do some spin around. It's very easy and a lot of fun. You will capture quite a little bit motion when your hair is in the air or dress flying around. But the downside for this is sometimes you would capture some images like this, hair in the mouth or turning away from the camera, so not a very high success rate until you try a number of times. All right, my tip number 3. Since we talk about motion, let's talk about motion blur. All right, the purpose of this exercise is to show your movement. So don't worry if you look out of focus. So instead of running toward the camera, you walk across the frame of the camera this time. Set a deep depth of field, which is high f-stop value, but slower shutter, like 1/20th of a second, 1/50th, 1/60th. Play around and try it out. Well, it might be not the typical kind of pictures you take, but it's a lot of fun. Just make sure that you don't look at the camera in this exercise, because obviously you will look like a ghost, like this. Okay, now my tip number 4, if you think the past exercise like walking, running, spinning is too complicated, this is much simpler. You just stay where you are, but instead of facing the camera, turn away from the camera, but look back. Look, it just looks a lot more natural. You can obviously combine different tips like walking and looking back to the camera. My tip 5 is even better. You don't even need to look at the camera, just look away. And again, combine several tips, walk toward the camera while looking away. The only secret is, instead of looking towards any direction, look up toward the sky. That typically gives you brighter eyes. All right, here's the final recap. Tip number 1, walk or run to the camera. Tip number 2, spin around. Tip number 3, motion blur. Tip number 4, turn away but look back. Tip number 5, look away. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Try these tips out and let me know how it works for you. And more importantly, I hope to see you in my future episode.